Good day, folks. As you can see, I am driving now. I'm in a car. I'm with the buddy Wilson here. Wilson came up. Wilson he came by to check me out. I drove him around just to show him some of these different monasteries in Columbus, and just showing him how amazing it is to live here, especially as a language learner. You know, learning all these different languages and just the exposure and all the opportunities all the opportunities you have to practice. But yeah, I wanna basically make this video. We had a little discussion. We were talking about globalization and just how, basically globalization and maintaining the language, especially if you have heritage and the language that your parents or your grandparents spoke. Just talk about that, maintaining that language, not losing it. And how people do when they move over to these different countries. They become totally what's the word I'm looking for? They I'm forgetting English. There's a word. They become totally
Americanized.
Not Americanized. Assimilated.
Yes.
They become totally assimilated in that culture, which is it's understandable. They're in that country. They have to go to school. They need to learn the language, but at the same time, they tend to forget their heritage. They just drop it. So we're gonna talk about that here today. So I'm gonna go ahead and give Wilson the camera because I'm driving, so I'm not gonna hold. I'm gonna let him hold it. So when I'm talking, you can just put it over to me, and when you're talking, put it on yourself.
Sure.
So yeah. So for me, well, first of all, no, actually, you want to hold it hold on, let's see.
Like this?
Yeah, hold it kind of hold it like that. Make it steady like that, and then put it, just hold it steady. And then when you put it on yourself, you want to keep it the same.
Oh, okay.
So,
Sorry about
I guess what I could do is just start off and ask Wilson, how does he feel, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about the whole, because all right, I admire. I should say first, I admire Wilson because he came over. When did you come over to the? When did you move over here to the States?
About 2 years old with my parents.
2 years ago. So when you came over to the U.S., you didn't speak Burmese, right?
Not much.
Not much.
No. Just a little bit with my parents, but they put a lot of pressure on me, mostly just to go to school and do well. And I think
No, you can when you talk, you can put it on yourself.
Okay.
You can just talk in the camera when you
Okay.
talk. Yeah, just when you talk, you can put it on yourself.
Yeah, a lot of the pressure was on me to learn English, because it was mostly their way of trying to survive in America, because English is the dominant language. Trying to find a job, mostly you got to really learn English and know it very well, and try to do well in your career. And learning and keeping my language, my Burmese language alive was really not all that important to my parents, because mostly they were more worried about trying to survive. But as I learn more and more now, like talking with Moses, I really appreciate what he's done. Because
He said, "What did I do?"
I mean, it's amazing what Moses does. I mean, he can learn so many languages and connect with all these different cultures. I mean, I was learning Burmese mostly by myself, and maybe a little bit with my parents. But and I was almost ready to stop learning, because, I mean, a lot of people told me, why are you learning Burmese? Not too many people speak that language, but I try to keep, as a second generation, I try to preserve a little bit as much as I could. But thank God and Moses. I mean, I gotta tell you, I'm serious. I can't thank you enough, man. Because when you talk to me in Burmese, it really motivates me to try to keep learning the language. Because otherwise, I'd probably kind of get a little isolated and kind of lose motivation without somebody to talk to about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's really admirable. It's really admirable because you got two brothers, right?
Oh yes.
Yeah. See, Wilson has two brothers, and they don't know Burmese. They don't even want to learn Burmese.
Yes.
They don't want to have anything to do with Burmese.
Yes.
And it's I know people say, well, if you're not interested, you're not interested. It's understandable. You're living in a country where you have this dominant language. You have to go to school. You have to get a job. So yeah, everyone needs to learn that language. But at the same time, you need to at least consider your roots. Your the language of your parents. Have some sort of interest. And I mean, just try it out. Just try it out. Otherwise, the language will die off. You have kids. They get older and they start wondering why you didn't teach them or help them with the language. They just start wondering these things, and I just, my point, before I drift off, my point is I admire Wilson because, like his brothers, he had to go to school here. He had to get a job, focus on that. And like he just said, his parents basically told him that he needs to just focus on his education. Don't even really worry about Burmese. It's not something that's important, But he went out of his way, he took it to another level. He sat down, learned the language, and I really admire that because it's hard. And I met a lot of ABCs, American-born Chinese or American-born Japanese or any African, wherever doesn't matter. I met these people who migrated here. Their parents migrated, and they grew up here going to these different schools. They don't even know they don't even know that language. Like they don't even want to learn.
Yes, it's part of, like, it's not really part of, like, you don't really need a language to learn your minority language to survive in America. You do really well if you really know English really well, and it's almost like a survival mechanism, almost, to really have the pressure to learn English well.
Yeah.
To get those high paying jobs and higher rise up in the American culture and society.
Yeah, but it's people need to realize too at the same time, if you got family, and I made a video about this before. I was telling people, like, when you learn, you lose your culture, you lose your language, you can't even connect with these people. Like, yes. if I got, okay, let's say, my parents are from, I don't know, let's choose a country, from Brazil, okay, or somewhere, and my parents migrated here to America, and, I learned English, but I don't know the Portuguese. It's like, how I can't even connect with my family back home. I don't know the language. I can't connect with them. They're just family,
Yes.
When my parents are gone, they're not here anymore. I have cousins back home, and I want to connect with them. And if you don't know the language, you're not going to be able to connect with them. So there's many things to consider, and I think family is very important. That's why for me, I have 2 daughters. My wife is from Taiwan. It'll be a big shame on my part to if they grow up and don't know how to speak the Chinese language, don't have any type of knowledge in this language, and can't communicate with their family over in Taiwan. I can't let that happen, and I don't care what it takes. I don't care what it takes. I don't care, they born here, they grew up here and whatnot. I don't care I'll do anything. I got to make sure they are connected with with their other culture.
Yes.
That's just something that it's a responsibility on my part. I have to do it.
Yes, that's amazing too, because if you lose that connection with your past, it's kind of like not being able to speak that prior language. You lose certain expressions that are only spoken in that language that cannot be directly translated into English. And those expressions and those ways of thinking, if you don't speak that way, you're gonna lose that part of your expressing yourself and connecting, and that way of connecting with other people.
Right.
And you're gonna lose that part of humanity, because humanity is about, like, being able to connect with other people. And if you sever those ties, that's just not right. I don't know.
Yeah, everyone has different ways of thoughts, different thought patterns. Just because we all, a lot of people speak in English, they go to school and learn English, and when they have their own language, they retain their own language, their original language, their thought patterns are going to be different. Like the way they think about certain things, and you can see that in the language, So this is why, I don't know. It's just a great thing to do. Just learn the language, interact with the people, get to know them. You become more open minded. And yeah, I get the question, Some people ask me, well, a lot of people ask me, why don't I just learn? Why don't I just concentrate on like a couple languages, get advanced or something in them, get a native level, and that's it, And then what? Like then what's next? Like, okay, I can do that if I wanted to. I can choose Chinese, Mandarin, Cantonese, Japanese, Korean, or whatever, and just stop there and just have those as my best languages. And then what? What's next? I do what I do because I like to connect with these different cultures. I'm here in America, and where I am, which is Columbus, Ohio, we have so many foreigners. Like, we have so many foreigners here, these different languages. So it's like, okay, I'm here. I don't have any intentions on going to these other countries. So, why not? Why not go ahead and learn a language and try to interact with these people and show them that I appreciate, although I'm American, I appreciate learning the language with them. It's, learning their language, I mean. So this is why I study many languages. I like to connect with different people, And I think this is something that more of us should do. More doors open up, a better understanding of certain things, And at the same time, those people who migrated over to America or United Kingdom or such places, and they have their parents speaking these different languages, they may take an interest and they may see what I do and say, oh man, this is cool. This guy, he's in America. He doesn't necessarily have to learn these languages. He has English as his primary language. Why is he learning Burmese? Why is he learning Vietnamese? This is just out of curiosity and growing and growth. It's for me. So, my goal is ultimately is to connect with a lot of people, more people from around the world, and inspire others to get out and do the same thing.
Yeah, it's really inspirational what Moses can do because he can really connect with those immigrants, and I'm sure the immigrant communities are very appreciative and thankful that he's able to speak their language, because most of the time they feel kind of maybe a little inferior to the English-speaking population and having the pressure to always have to learn English. But when you have somebody like Moses, who's an American, speaking their language, they feel really motivated, saying like, man, my language really is worthwhile. It is worth trying to speak with other people in my language, and not just always thinking about trying to get a higher paying job or something.
Yeah, it's not all about getting that's another thing. Some people say, oh, you want to get a job with the CIA, or do you want to be a translator? These are very common questions, which is, again, understandable because it's very common, especially here in the States. If you're learning another language, you're either doing it for to get a job, or basically a job. That's it.
Yes.
That's the main reason why people will. That's the main question. And the main reason why most people will learn language. But it goes deeper than that. It's not all about making money. And I mean, money, yeah, it's good. Everyone wants to make some money, but it goes deeper than that. It's not all about the money. It's not always about the money. It's for me, connecting with the people, having a better understanding, and growing as an individual, as a human being. This is money to me. Like, this is money. This is never lasting money that you can never lose.
Yes.
But you can actually lose physical money. But this money that I'm getting, I can't lose it. When I've grown as an individual and I've learned certain things, I can't. That's it. What's the thing? They still open? Yeah. Once I make this money in this respect, I can't lose it. This is the real money to me.
Yes, that's exactly right. What Moses is talking about is like money in terms of value in society. Like if you put a lot of value on having a lot of money and to buy material things, then that's a kind of like a materialistic society. The society Moses is talking about is the society where you put value in preserving language and culture and traditions, and that kind of value is much more deeper, in my belief, than the materialistic kind of money that most people refer to.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. So yeah, this is what we wanted to talk about. I mean, it's related to language learning, and yeah, just it's an important topic because we're losing languages every day. Thousands of languages we're losing
Yes.
literally because of globalization.
Yes.
You know, and it's dangerous because once you lose a language, you lose. You know, you totally lose connection with the people, man, and
Yes.
it's sad. It's really sad. So, you know, hopefully we can get more people into learning multiple languages. You know, and you know, I mean, everyone has their own goals. Some people, they like to criticize. They say, you know, you're learning too many languages or just focus on a few languages. But at the same time, you know, be open-minded and try to understand why people are doing what they're doing, you know. So it's just, it's all about, for me, it's all about growth and you know, just learning new things every day and a better understanding of things in general. So,
Yeah, I want to say thank you so much to Moses for coming out, reaching out to the Burmese community, and all that he's done for all the other communities and all the other immigrants in America. He's done a great job, and I really appreciate it. I'm sure they all appreciate what you do, Moses.
this is a lifetime thing for me. I'll never stop.
I can't
Never
tell
say
you enough, man. How thankful we are for what you do, man.
Yeah, this is my passion, man, and I just want to I want to spread the passion. I want to spread it and get more people into doing what I'm doing, you know, and so they can see, you know, see how it's a life changer. My life has changed. My life has changed for doing what I'm doing now, and it's going to keep changing for the better, you know. So it's going to keep going. I have no intentions on stopping. So, anything else you want to say?
Oh no, sure, that's all.
That's it. All right. So we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you, Wilson, for
Thank you, Moses.
partaking in this video. This is an interesting topic, and yeah, that is it, guys.